Hello, beautiful artsy people. It's Erin here, and I'm so excited to be coming at you as a resident artist for the Mixed Media Art School. It is an online school. We do have an amazing Facebook group that is free to join. I will put that down in the description box below. Every Monday, we have the Monday Prompt Project, where we have a prompt, and then a couple of the resident artists will either do a video or show some pictures on how you could maybe use that prompt within your artwork. And this week's prompt is eyes. To begin with, I took some watercolor paper cut down to a 6x8 and taped it to one of my boards that I like to work on, and now I have a Posca pen which is not working with me. There was so much frustration going on. I really was having a hard time showing up to art, and this is how I decided would be the best way for me to start. Just take that pen, write down whatever words, emotions, scribbles, whatever just popped into my mind, get it out onto that paper. So that is what I'm doing here. And once that's done, we're going to take a little bit of black gesso. Now, we don't want to totally cover up what we wrote down, but just enough so it kind of peeks through. So I'm really watering down the gesso here. As you can see, I'm adding lots of water and moving it around. And now I'm adding some blue liquid acrylic inks. Blue is the color of the throat chakra, if you're familiar with the chakra system, and it deals with communication. So if you're struggling to find the words to say, or you just feel like it's bottled up, work with blue, and that'll help you kind of open up and get that chakra moving. Now, if blue doesn't call to you, then you can use any other color of the rainbow. I just thought I'd give you that tidbit. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but you can actually pick up still some of the writing underneath my words, and I thought it would be cool to add another layer of writing or script on top of that. So I have an old script stencil here, and I'm just going to push a little bit of the black gesso through the stencil, and that's going to add just randomly, and that'll add just a little bit more interest to our background. I will list all the products that I use down in the description box below, so if you're interested in finding something out, that is where you can find it. Now, once you're done, go ahead and give it a good dry. Now that it's all dry, you can see some of those layers pulling through. I thought it would be fun to do sort of like a mantra card or, just a saying card. So what I'm doing is sort of mapping out with my pencil about where the midline of the piece is, and I'm going to line up this circle stencil here right in the middle. And I'm going to do that with a pencil first just to make sure we have it in the right spot. Yep, that looks about even. And now we're going to go ahead and grab a white gel pen, which is basically going to be the product that I use for the rest of the video. So this is just a jelly roll. You can find them in different tip sizes. This is a 0.8, so it's kind of like a mid-range one. So now that I have my circle drawn, I'm going to go ahead and draw a couple bigger circles. Now remember, we're going to make some eyes today, and this is totally different than how I usually make eyes, but I really just was feeling called to do something fun and doodly when I haven't done art for a while. I like to just break out the doodles. It gets me into the creative mode, but I don't have to think as much. And I love doing that. And then we have this beautiful piece at the very end that we can display, or maybe you make it smaller and do like a card front and send it to somebody. That would be beautiful too. So for our eye, we're going super basic. I'm drawing the circle and now a line cutting the top of the eye off and then bringing it around, and then adding a little bit of the pupil there, just kind of rounding it off. Now this is like I said, super basic eye, but easy peasy. And now I'm going to do the same thing down here, draw a circle. I'm going to draw the line that kind of intersects the top of the circle, and then create my tear duct there on the one side. I wanted to do opposite eyes this direction, but you could keep them going the same way if you wanted more continuity. And now we're going to do the same thing for these bigger eyes. And this is also repetition. The best way to get good at something is just to continue to repeat it, and practice. So we're doing that, and I'm keeping them sketchy too. Like, you could go back and draw with a pencil first and then trace over so you don't have that intersecting line over the top. But I'm not going to mess with that too much. See here, I'm already confusing myself. Where do I want to put my tear duct? Which direction is it going to go? I told you, this project, woo! I was just getting some of that junky junk out, and it felt good, but it was frustrating at sometimes. So we're going to continue just making these eyes like we did before, all the way around the rest of the circle, and this is going to be the beautiful border outside of our little saying motif. To give our piece a little bit more interest, I'm just taking kind of like these triangle swirls here, and I'm going around the whole piece and creating a little triangle in between each of the eyes. This gives it a little bit, you know, more fun doodly feels. You could do whatever design calls to you, but I thought the triangles fit nicely. To give the piece a little bit more of a pulled together feel, I'm going to add some little curvy lines here in the corners and create a border around our piece. Now you could do chevrons, you know, whatever pattern calls to you. We're just going to keep it kind of doodly. And then after this, I will add a little bit of yellow gel pen. It's kind of like a fluorescent yellow, which you could skip, or you could add different colors if you wanted, just to the centers of the eyes, just to give it a little bit more of a pop. Now before I move on, I'm just giving that gel pen a dry real fast so it doesn't smudge. And now I'm going to bring back that same circle stencil that I had before. Now if you don't have a circle stencil, you could totally eyeball it. I do get a little bit crazy sometimes. I just wanted my lines to be straight, so I'm using those guidelines in between the circle there of this old Fiskars stencil so I can write my sentiment on the inside. So I'm going to do pencil first. And as you'll see, I go, oh no, I don't like that. And then I erase it, which it erases quite well with a little bit of the kneaded eraser. So if you don't erase too hard, it works great. And then I'm just going to grab a gold gel pen and go over top of those words to really make them pop. Look beyond what you see. I just love that saying. There's so much going on with us, both individually and as a collective. And what we are shown sometimes isn't always the whole story. Having that ability to dig deeper than just what our eyes see at first glance will not only stop us from making quick judgments, but also to understand what deeper meaning the things we see may carry. Creating this piece and having it hang in my studio will serve as a reminder for me to do just that. I encourage you to find a quote or a phrase that has meaning for you and use that within your artwork. tape removal, one of my favorite things to do. Do a little bit of that heat gun and it helps the tape peel off beautifully. Look at that. Ah, there's just something about that clean line that gives the piece such a finished feel. So I'm doing that here and then taking a little of the gel pen because you can see some of that dark is showing a little bit there, but that is it. We are done with the project today. I am so looking forward to seeing how you guys interpret the eyes prompt this week. So make sure you tag the Monday Prompt Project so all of us can see your fantastic work on Instagram or post it over in the Facebook group. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I am sending mad loves out to you all, and until next time, happy creating.